7 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Friday, August 1st, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned into the Jeff and Bill Show News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights and hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Coming up this hour, we're going to talk the presidential fitness exam. Could you pass it? Could you get the Presidential Physical Fitness Award? Well, Donald Trump yesterday, along with some other athletes, bringing it back. I guess it's disappeared since the Obama administration. That's after I left school, so I don't know what school would be like without it. But big topic of conversation around the dinner table yesterday. Pulled up some of the scores. What are the kids going to have to do in order to get that Presidential Physical Fitness Award? And could you do it? We'll have the latest on that. Plus, Thomas Kincaid, yes, that painter, arguably the most popular conservative Christian painter of all time, passed away a few years ago. Well, has the family gone woke? The Family Foundation in a spat with Kristi Noem and DHS. We'll give you the latest on that. Plus, Bobby Daniel's going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour, George Brockler in the 9 o'clock hour, and then we'll finish the week with some cowboy poetry. So a whole lot of great stuff coming up for you. Now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
TGIF, good morning. 57 with some clouds overhead. Going to be a great day again, expecting a high of 86 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, 21-year-old Damian Britt has been arrested following the shooting in Lodo that injured 4 people early Sunday. Britt was taken into custody on 4 counts of attempted murder after a fight near 20th and Market turned violent. It's the only way to stop this stuff. Tough on crime, bottom line, and we need it in downtown Denver especially. Denver Mayor Johnston believes they are close to a deal with the Broncos on a new stadium, angling for the stadium to be funded by the organization. And that's the only way to do it as well. The Burnham Yard property in La Alma Lincoln Park neighborhood has been mentioned as a possible location, as well as the city of Lone Tree. The Broncos' current lease at Empower Field at Mile High runs through 2031. You know what? Speaking of football, let me just play this. This is the Hall of Fame game last night, the first NFL game of the season. And the best thing about it, they actually had a kickoff and a return. It's a stupid rule. It's not a live kickoff like it used to be, but at least there's some contact in there and an opportunity to return the kickoff. So we'll see if the Broncos can take advantage of that this season. All right, the sleazy sniffer Joe Biden started firing the first shots at DJT about the fake Russia hoax back in 2016. And Patriots like Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard exposing the corrupt frauds.
That very clearly, when you look at all of the Russia rhetoric that came from Hillary Clinton throughout that campaign, if President Trump then, as President-elect Trump, had seen a president's daily brief. This is an article where the intelligence community views it as being a very highly esteemed product, that only the best of intelligence gets into this president's daily brief. If they had published that document, which said again that, I'm paraphrasing, that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to influence the election in favor of Donald Trump or either candidate, then President-elect Trump would have seen that and said, hey, see, this is what I knew all along, yet Hillary Clinton's been saying all of these things and making all of these allegations against President Trump and claiming foreign interference. For years, Hillary Clinton claimed that she would have won the election and been president if not for Russia.
Yeah, that's a lie. Led by the criminal minds like Hillary Clinton, the commies jammed the Russia hoax down our throats almost 10 years ago. And guess what? Over 60% of Democrats still believe this stuff. 47 was spot on back in 2016, right before he became 45.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
One of the greatest comebacks of all time. Of all time. Barry, Clapper, Comey, Brennan, and Clinton. It's only the beginning. And who's going to rat on whom? We shall see. And then last night, two knuckleheads talking on CBS.
Oh my, I mean, there are so many good people who are public servants, who do such good work. Teachers and firefighters and police officers and nurses and scientists.
Yeah, the scientists. Yeah.
And so it's not about them, but, you know, I believe, and I always believed, that as fragile as our democracy is, our systems would be strong enough to defend our most fundamental principles. And I think right now that they're not as strong as they need to be, and I just don't.
Yeah, because of people like you and your ilk. Kamala Khan on with Colbert talking about her book and the amazing funny stories during the campaign. Dougie Emhoff, her hubby in the book.
I mean, there's a lot of personal stuff in the book. I mean, poor Dougie.
You're blowing the lid off of Doug? What's going on?
For example, my birthday's in October. The election's in November. You see where I'm going?
No.
And Dougie kind of dropped the ball on my big birthday.
He didn't get you anything?
Oh, you have to read the book.
Oh, wow. He forgot her birthday. That should have been, I'm sure that was fun. Burr Charlesworth, he's accused in the shooting of ex-Broncos receiver Josh Reynolds. Charlesworth has pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit first-degree assault. Charlesworth is one of 9 people charged in connection to the October attack, which police say happened after Reynolds left a strip club in Glendale. Prosecutors called the shooting a coordinated ambush. Today is the final day of hearings on the deadly mid-air collision that happened earlier this year over the Potomac. Thursday's testimony centered on air traffic control training. 67 people died in January's mid-air collision. 47 have signed an executive order increasing tariffs on exports from around 70 countries worldwide. The order says the new rates will kick in next week. He also announced that tariffs on Canada will go up from 25 to 35% starting today. UCLA says it's losing $200 million in federal research funding after it was accused of anti-Semitism. And the U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East has arrived in Gaza. Steve Witkoff was in Israel Thursday to meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu and seen arriving this morning in Gaza. All right, Broncos training camp continues today and tomorrow, and they are off on Sunday. Baseball, Pittsburgh in town to take on the Rockies tonight. 55 in Parker, 54 in Superior, and 57 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue on Friday. Blake Olson, News Talk 710, KNUS.
It's a different day, but the weather forecast is about the same. Highs will be around the lower 80s, partly cloudy with another round of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms likely, some producing heavy rain, lows tonight upper 50s. Bit warmer, middle to upper 80s Friday, scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms, upper 80s and lower 90s for the weekend with isolated afternoon thunderstorms. Weather is a service of L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
talk presidential fitness test. President Trump, flanked by star athletes, signed an executive order yesterday reestablishing the presidential fitness test for public school children after the Obama administration shifted the program away from athletic feats. We're officially restoring the presidential fitness test and the presidential fitness award, and it's going to be a very big thing, Trump said in remarks from the White House. The New York Post reporting it was a big deal. The president said of the competition the test fostered in schools, this was a wonderful tradition and we're bringing it back. The fitness test was introduced by former President Dwight Eisenhower in 1956, and it required students to perform sit-ups, pull-ups, or push-ups, a sit-and-reach test, and a 1-mile run until it was altered in 2012. Member of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, including professional golfers Bryson DeChambeau, Annika Sorenstam, Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker, former New York Giants linebacker Lawrence Taylor, and former WWE wrestler Paul Triple H, who is the son-in-law of Education Secretary Linda McMahon, joined Trump at the signing ceremony. All right, boys, do you guys remember doing this when you were in school?
Yeah, it was dumb.
Stupid. You would say that.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was, in part, it was stupid because at the time, I was in much better shape, and I was playing soccer. So the presidential fitness test was stupid.
Easy.
The bar was so low. But the other thing that I remember the other kids in class, it's when I hear the administration talking about it was a big deal and people loved it. And no. I don't remember any kid going, yeah, this is great. This is fantastic. Everybody stood around going, this is dumb. Can't we play dodgeball? Can we play Foursquare or something? Rather than standing around and doing this. For me, I understand the idea behind it, but I think that it is mostly meaningless and stupid. But I want to see what Blake Olson says on this. I'm going to bring his microphone on this one.
Mr. Athlete.
I'm laughing over here because I knew Billy was going to say that.
Of course.
Right there. But at the same time, I kind of agree with you. It was kind of silly. And some of it was like, oh, wait a minute. That doesn't exactly show your strength or if you're fit or what have you. People are built differently. But overall, after I look at the whole and get through all the little things involved, I think it's a good thing because it promotes it.
They have a fitness test right now in school, the PACER test that kids do.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a good one too.
What's
like
the PACER test? I'm not familiar.
PACER test is basically it's a running test that checks aerobic exercise, and aerobic fitness. Normally, everybody remembers suicides. Running back and forth across. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's set up kind of the same way. But here's the stupidity part about it. Is that what they do is they take your score at the beginning of the semester and then they do another score at the end of the semester. Well, it takes most students 2 times doing that to figure out, if I run slower at the first test, I can run the real speed at the end of the test, and then I improve, and I get a good grade. It takes 2 chances of running that test before the kids figure out how to game the system. Okay.
It's a mental test also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
There you go. Well, childhood obesity rates have tripled recently.
Yeah.
So we're definitely dealing with a problem of obesity with kids. But here are the lines that you would need to hit in order to hit the 85th percentile.
Yeah.
And this comes from the 1985 School Population Fitness Survey. And if you hit these marks, you're in the 85th percentile, and you qualify for the Presidential Physical Fitness Award. All right, so first, sit-ups. And we're going to do this all from the perspective of 17-year-olds. So 17-year-old boys, 17-year-old girls, okay? Sit-ups, 55 if you're a boy. And 44 if you're a girl. 55 if you're a boy, 44 if you're a girl. You think you could hit that today? Think you could do 55 sit-ups?
No. I could not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Fat and old.
5 boys?
No, I'm fat and old. I'm not 17. And back when I had like a tight skin, more hair, and a fast metabolism, sure. Now,
exactly.
No, stuff hurts. Stuff hurts
That's
just
right.
by sitting here.
Your back, man.
Yes, this is ridiculous. And sit-ups are really bad for lower back. Really, really bad for it. No, there's no way I can do it.
I would cheat way too much.
How is
in
a
sit-ups.
sit-up bad for
doubt.
your lower back?
Because of how it curls the lower lumbar. It's not good for it. It's over and over and over again, the repetition. It is not. It's. I mean, the curling, etc. when you're younger, but when you get into the older ages and you get into the stiffness, now it's really, sit-ups are really, really bad for your lower back. Yeah.
And you have to do it really slow to do it correctly.
Yeah.
You know, you start cheating when you start, and that's bad for your back. Especially when you hit 50. When you hit 50, you'll understand.
A skit out of Grumpy Old Men.
Yes, it is.
I'm like, can you do 55 sit-ups? No, by the way, the sit-ups are bad for you anyways. It's all a conspiracy.
What? If you gave me an hour, I could probably do 55.
Doctors. Okay.
Yeah.
You have 1
give
minute
me an
to do
hour.
it.
Yeah. No. Is it 1 minute?
1 minute, 55 sit-ups if you're a boy, 44 if you're a girl. All right. Next is the 1 mile run. This is where it starts to fall off for me. 'Cause I'm like, yeah, you could do 55 sit-ups. You could do that. But the 1 mile run, you would have to do in under 6 minutes, 6 seconds. That's a fast mile. That's a pretty fast
that
mile.
age.
Girl,
really
8:15. So, I competed. So I ran cross country track in high school and then did cross country in college. So running's been a big part of my life. I did a all age track event not that long ago.
Yeah.
And to be back out there 40, there were guys that were like in their 80s, but I can do 400. I could do one lap around the track at pretty good speed, but after that it starts to fall off. So a 6:06 mile, that's pretty impressive.
That is. I think so.
Bill, what do you think your mile time is right now?
An hour and a half. It's not walking. I don't have to go anywhere that fast right now, so no, I'm not worried about it. And I understand my low level of fitness at this point. One time, and again, I always hated running miles. The other part for me is, okay, so we're going to do the fitness test for the kids. So how are the kids going to train? And so what you're saying is that, is it PE class? Okay, so we do PE class, and you're going to say, okay, kids, for this PE class in which we're supposed to, and again, part of PE is to burn off some of the excess steam that the kids have from sitting in class.
Energy.
So that's part of it. That's why sometimes you get second recess in elementary school and middle school, because you're like the teacher's like, get the hell out of my classroom. I can't deal with it right now. Get the hell out. Just run around outside and be crazy. And so that's what PE class is supposed to do. And having the kids just run is not going to burn off that energy. And I want to see you try to convince these kids, hey, for this mile, we're going to run in a circle for the next hour. That's great. Yeah, you're not going to lose those kids in the enthusiasm. Unless you want to or have this idea of joining a team, just running for the mile is stupid. The suicides back and forth, doing something inside a gym, yeah. But the continuous running for a mile is dumb. And how do you get the kids to train for that? Where are you going to go? Because you're not going to be able to take them outside and let them run for a mile. They're going to have to lap the gym. This is stupid.
No, we gotta at least hold some tests. If one day out of the year the kids go for a run, it's better than what we currently have now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The push-ups, that is going to get a little tougher. Okay, now we're into the realm of this would be pretty challenging for me. 53 straight push-ups. That's to hit the 85th percentile as a 17-year-old boy. Now, they allow you to do girl push-ups, and that would be 25 for the ladies. But 53 push-ups straight, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. That's tough.
All right.
If you do it right.
Now the one that I would just absolutely fail, and this is classic runner, no upper body strength, the pull-ups. I mean, I'm lucky if I could get one or maybe two pull-ups done. You'd have to do 13 straight push-ups in order to be in the 85th percentile of the Presidential Physical Fitness Award. 13.
Yeah, again, back when I was a teenager and when I'm into the competitive sports and playing, I'm doing pull-ups and I'm doing sets of 25. and that's front of your chest, and then goes down, and then back of your neck, then can pull up front of the chest, back of the chest. But again, that's because I needed those shoulders. Right now, I don't need those shoulders at all. So I don't. Yeah, no, I could not hit that right now. Back in the day, sure, yeah, that wouldn't be a problem. But that's again because of the sports I was playing, not because I was some sort of like fitness freak. It was just because I ran around on a field for a while.
I think it's really important as a kid to at least learn some fitness like strategy, goals, because as you get later in life, it becomes a lot more important that you have some basis for going out there and trying to maintain a healthy weight, getting some activity in, that type of thing. So I see this as pretty important. I love it. Glad that the president's bringing this back. Kids should be tested on this, and if it's an uncomfortable day where you're like, gosh, I can't do more than 2 pull-ups, so maybe I need to get after it a little bit in my life, might be helpful for these kids because we've tripled the obesity rate in the last few years. Tripled. So I like the fact the president's bringing this back. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 303-696-1971. 303-696-1971. Or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Go ahead, Bill.
When we get back, we're going to talk to Jim in Denver when we get back. But I've got a way where this presidential fitness test, every kid in class will want to participate, and they'll try really hard, and they'll want to get the medal, because the way the office of the president has proposed this is completely backwards. I'll tell you how to make this the best and most exciting day of school. But we'll do it after the break. I know how to fix
Field
this thing.
day?
No, I've got an even better one. This is going to be fun. There's going to be a way where every single kid, if they pass the presidential fitness test, they are going to tell all of their friends. They're going to have a certificate they will put on their wall, and they will wear that medal around for weeks. It's because, though, the White House is not understanding the motivation. I'll explain it when we get back.
Excited to hear this. Appreciate it. We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS.
Wake up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, August 27th, join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 1595 South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill Show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, August 27th at IHOP.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. The presidential fitness test is coming back. Donald Trump issuing an executive order to bring that back, along with members of the Presidential Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. It's not an easy test. Is this good? Childhood obesity rates have tripled in America. Do we need to figure out a way to make America fit again? Let's go to the phone lines. Jim in Denver. Good morning, Jim. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, morning, guys. I do recall those fitness tests. I enjoyed them. It was, but realistically, it was kind of an opportunity for many of us to make fun of the fat people and watch them struggle. And that's what we spend half the time doing, is waiting for them to get through the run and the pull-ups and all that. So I think it's kind of useless, especially when three-quarters of society is overweight in some fashion right now, don't you?
Well, the question I have about the fitness test is, okay, if you're not doing it well, then does it become kind of an inspiration to try to change your lifestyle? Let's say you're in the bottom 10%, for instance, in the fitness exam, you're not doing well. Do you think it's a wake-up call to the kids that maybe a little bit of public shaming, maybe a little bit of failing the test in front of everybody will get you to live a healthier lifestyle? Because look, obesity is a serious issue. You get that wrong, and you start to deal with real serious health consequences for the rest of your life. Your thoughts, Jim?
So I did this in the 80s, and of course in the 80s they reclassified ketchup as a vegetable. So government's out there to distract us, really. I mean, maybe we're talking about this now because we don't want to talk about the GOP actually turning into guardians of pedophiles, just like the people that we talk down about, the Democrats, our whole lives, right? What are we going to do? Get some teacher out there that's next thing you know, the phys ed teacher's overweight too, right? You're going to start out by making the phys ed teacher be able to complete these tasks that we put them
Jim,
through.
and I appreciate the phone call. There was something funny. There was a story, and this is about 6 or 7 months ago, where there was a guy going through a college course to be a PE teacher, but he needed to have all of these accommodations at the school because he couldn't stand or walk for more than 15 minutes because of his obesity. He was morbidly obese, but wanted to be a PE teacher, but couldn't perform any of the tasks the kids could do in PE. I get it. The thing that I understand what Jim's saying, and I understand what you're saying, Jeff, about the idea of little public shaming, but these kids already know they're fat. I haven't known a fat kid that wasn't aware of that their entire life. Right. And so for me, I understand where Jim's coming from this because, yeah, for those kids that were overweight, and I remember them in school, this is just a highlight. This is an idea of, hey, in front of all of your peers, let's demonstrate how out of shape you are. Ta-da! Because all the kids in the class, they know. They know that. You know, you've been playing around. You've been PE. You know the kids that can run and that can't run. You've been on a recess. You know the kids that can run and the ones that can't. You know the ones that get out of breath. You know the ones that can throw. You know the ones that are stronger than others. You found that out. That hierarchy is already established inside of your school system. You know that going into this. The test isn't going to do anything, and I think what Jim's talking about, except to highlight that public shame. Yeah, and I remember there's a girl, Shannon, who was overweight in my class, and I remember going through some of these fitness tests, and it was atrociously painful for her. She was never going to hit any of these standards, and we knew it before the test even started. And every single year she had to prove that she failed again.
But are we letting feelings matter more than actual physical health, right? So, yeah, I'm sorry you're publicly shamed. I'm sorry it's embarrassing for you. But did you say her name was Shannon?
Yeah.
But Shannon, if you don't address this, if you don't get really serious about this, you're going to deal with very serious health consequences for the rest of your life. And so you need to pick a hobby, pick a sport, get involved in something. Get serious about treating your health.
But isn't that the job of, we don't want the school or the government to come in and tell people that, do we? Isn't that the responsibility of either the individual or the parents? Because again,
I definitely think it's a responsibility of the parents.
Yeah,
but to say it's solely the responsibility of the parents?
Well, let's pick up other educational examples and other things inside of the schools. If we talk about what books are available and things that are chosen in classes, we've been told parents should be the ultimate deciders, and parents are going to make the best choice for their kids. So it's kind of hard at that point to then get into it and say, well, now the government is going to tell you these standards and this has to be met. There's a dichotomy there that's difficult to deal with. But
let's go to Donnie in Denver. Good morning, Donnie. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Oh, this is Johnny. Hey, you guys are bringing back some great memories. I was in a weightlifting class. We had one girl, great body, and I was the DJ. And in order to pass that class, the principal said, okay, you bring in great music, but you're going to have to run around this track 2 times. And I was 5'8", 140 pounds. I thought I was going to die. But I got a C in that class. And going forward, I have a granddaughter. She's should be overweight. She doesn't want to do any of the sport classes. And but she was a part of those 100 kids fighting thing.
Oh,
and she got injured. Yeah, she got injured in that. And I'm trying to convince her dad. I said, if she likes to fight so much, get her involved with female boxing. You know, make it. You know, that'll give her some kind of exercise if that's what she's interested in. But we shall see what happens.
Well, Johnny, I think I've got some kids that are very athletic. I've got other kids that are not athletic. But for me, it's not so much do you find a club or a sport or those types of things that you enjoy. I want you to have a skill set. And that skill set is living a good life. And that could be developing financial habits. That could mean developing healthy eating habits. That could mean developing exercise habits. But I think it's important for kids to go through the educational process to learn all these different habits so that they can live a happy, healthy life as they get older. And when we have tripled the obesity rate of kids, we're clearly not giving them a good skill set, whether that's healthy eating or healthy activities, to be able to live a good life. And so these kids are hitting adulthood and dealing with all of these very serious health consequences because we as a society didn't equip them to live a good life. So a little bit of testing, a little bit of pressure once a year in order to get your physical aptitude up, I think that's good. What do you think, Johnny?
It's to keep them busy, too, these after school.
Yeah.
Sometimes in school and then sometimes after school, things can keep them busy. And my parents certainly had me involved with a lot of wrestling after school because my mother carpooling the wrestlers around and stuff like that. And I thought it was good, you know. So.
Well, Johnny, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Johnny from
you.
Denver, his line will be open 303-696-1971. Bill, you said that the Trump administration could have done this in a way that really would have gotten the kids excited. Tell us about that.
It really would have. This is the way. And then we will get to Brian and Arvada here in just a bit. They missed the boat here because there is a way that you could have gotten every single kid across the country excited about participating in this contest and making sure that they would want to pass it, and they would tell their friends and family about it. And we don't even have to change the name as the presidential fitness test. But here's what you have to do. Every year before the school year starts, so it'd be right about this time, the president takes the test and sets the bar. That's what it is. So that every year the kids go to school and try to beat the president. That's what you do. That's how you sell it. It's no longer a command performance. It's now a competition. And how proud are you going to be as a 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th grader, even in high school? I can do more push-ups than our president. I can do the mile faster than our president. I can do more sit-ups than our president. And again, every president can decide how they want to approach this and even sandbag it a little bit as far as where they want to set those levels. That's fine. But the issue being, you want to make this work. Don't make it a command from the president about taking a test. Make it a competition. Now you've given the kids a reason to want to hit the bar. It's not just something that someone has said, because again, it sounds very parental. The idea of, hey, you're going to have to pass this fitness test. Well, can you do it? Shut up. Don't ask me about that. That's what it appears like. But if the president goes out and does it, whoever the president is, I don't care. But they go out and they set the standard and say, okay, kids, Can you beat me? Now you've got something, especially for the little ones. If you want to get them excited about this and you want to give them a motivation or a goal, there it is. There isn't a single fat kid that I can think of school that was motivated by the fact that, hey, you're going to have to run this fast and you better run faster later. Can't think about that. But I know a lot of kids that changed habits once they had a goal. That's the issue. There's no goal here. This is just meet a standard. Make it a competition. That's how you do it. You want to do it right? Make it
Bill,
that.
when you got presidents like William Taft and
oh hell yeah,
Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and others, push-ups, sit-ups, run a mile.
Hey,
I don't know. When was the last president that I'm trying to think of that could do that well? I mean, Teddy Roosevelt was known for being incredibly active, but he was pretty overweight.
I would put Obama and Bushes into it. Those would be the ones.
Sorry, what was the second one?
Both Bushes. I think both Bushes would do okay. Senior, not as much, but I think Junior probably could have done really well. Clinton would have been but then again, here's the idea though: is
Carter,
there's also some pressure on the president. Yes, for them to be able to do it because again, you talked about peer pressure. In front of the entire country, we can see you can only do 2 pull-ups. So there's some pressure there as well. So I think that on both levels, if the idea of the peer pressure in order to get someone in shape is good, I think it works for the president as well. And again, if you want to put the standard out, again, think about it though. How is it you can just have the medal and you've got the certificate on your wall? I can do more push-ups than the president. Kids are going to just eat that up.
Well, the text messages are hot on this one and hilarious, by the way. Jason in Denver quoting Wayne's World. About the rope in gym class. This makes me feel kind of funny, like when we used to climb the rope in gym class. Kathy and Aurora, maybe the grade schoolers could try to beat the president, but make it more challenging for the high schoolers. They have to beat J.D. Vance. Yes.
There we go. Again,
there you go.
Maybe also, though, this gives us pause as to who we're electing. Because the idea of, I don't know about the presidential fitness test. I don't know about that one. So, yeah.
Suzanne texting in, how do you square being fit when your family eats fast food? We really don't. We've changed our diet. But my wife and I got serious about this a few years ago about getting just the quality of our food up, not eating fast food. And when I got off the fast food diet, you really don't want to go back on it. Like it is not something I enjoy anymore. And that's why I really appreciate companies like Black Eyed Pea, because it's great quality food at about the same price. Lots of text messages on this one.
Oh yeah, this
obesity has to do with diet more than overall fitness. There's plenty of people I know who I characterize as fit fat. If you want the little darlings to lose weight and get fit, force them to do yoga.
That would be part of it. That is, and there's something that's really funny. There is there's a reality TV show that my family and I watch, and what it is, and it doesn't matter. But during the course of the show, there are some challenges that they have to work on as a team. And I remember one of the participants in the last season sitting there and she's and she turns to one of her friends that they're on the team together, and she's like, she goes, I came into this, I thought I was in the best shape of my life, and she's got this big backpack, they have to carry some weight. She goes, but in Pilates we don't have to lift anything. I'm like, there we go. So she was killing it in Pilates, but the idea there wasn't any weight training along with it. So when she actually had to load up a backpack and go for a mile or so and carrying the things, while she did have the ability, what she didn't train for was the weight. And that was the thing that was hard for her. So even though she was in what she said was the best shape of her life, she still is sucking wind during this competition. Yeah.
What I'm appreciate when I think this will develop. For me, it's a skill set. And as I've gotten older, the fact I did cross country, the fact I did track, the fact I spent that time learning how to do a workout, a very serious workout, and to lose weight, gave me a skill set that I use to this day that I appreciate, is just how to maintain strength in my body as I get older. How to eat healthy food, that type and stuff. And I think in light of the fact that we've tripled the childhood obesity rates, there needs to be a dramatic overhaul of this. Let's go back to the phone lines. Brian Arvada. Good morning, Brian. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, I agree with Billy. I think Barry Obama and W would be the only two presidents in history that could perform those tests to that standard. But even JFK had a bad back, so I don't think he could do it. But I grew up in the '80s, and to me it was kind of the golden age of America. I didn't grow up in a political environment. My parents were conservative Christians, so they had nothing to do with politics. They didn't even vote until my mom voted for Trump, which is kind of weird. But I was a Rubio fan. But anyway, having standards and striving for excellence, I mean, come on, how can that hurt anybody? Yeah, there was always those kids that couldn't do it, but that's where the gym teacher comes into play, and that's where you're encouraging and you're not discouraging, but you're rewarding people for excellence. It's like field day. I got more blue ribbons or green ribbons than the third place, but that's because I wanted to be good. I wanted to compete. I was an athlete, so I don't think we should shame any of that. It's all about teaching. Let's strive to be better, and if you're obese, hey, let's get a hold of this, because diabetes is a problem, and I don't want anyone to have that. So I had a great gym teacher. I think Trump is like a throwback to the 80s, trying to bring this stuff back, and I love it. And I don't think anyone should be opposed to it, striving to be excellent. What do you guys think?
Brian, I'm with you 100%, Bill.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. And I think you're right that during the 80s, as far as, where fitness was, we were on the cusp of some of the, the bad eating, but there still was,
jazzercise, guys.
Well,
that's the key.
Jazzercise. Well, the other thing is there was a lot of passive exercise. And what I mean by that is the freedom that all 80s kids will understand, the idea that once you went out that front door and cleared the sidewalk, your parents had no idea where you were. And the further away you could get and the longer you could spend out there, the better off you were. So sitting around wasn't a thing because, again, 80s kids, you understand me, that sitting around in front of a television or trying to play video games for hours, your parents were going to find something you were supposed to do. There were going to be chores. You have to clean something. You have to help them repair something. They're going to put you to work. Getting the hell out of the house and getting on that bike and riding for miles. That was freedom. And you get to do whatever you wanted, and you didn't have to be home until those streetlights turned on. There was that
and that's what I
exercise.
did, Billy.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I counted as 5 miles. I rode my bike every day after school.
Yep.
And now when I get on my bike, I feel the freedom I felt when I was in 4th, 5th grade, and it's wonderful when I cycle now. And one more thing, my first crush, Olivia Newton-John. Let's get physical.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Dude,
Come
yes.
on. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
get physical, everybody. Come on, kids.
Oh, yes. I remember the poster, Brian. I remember the poster, my friend. Oh, thanks for the phone call. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, the 80s are coming back, right?
Yeah,
all right. So. We'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS. If only my metabolism from the 80s would come back. I could really use that now.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. President Trump bringing back the presidential fitness test. What do you think of this? Text message is hot. I appreciate Trump bringing back the test, but you have to point out the irony that he pretty much plays golf and drinks Diet Cokes. Not the most physically active. And, Bill, this brings up an interesting question for me because you and I have been in politics to watch things come back around. Is this the revenge of Michelle Obama?
Oh, wow.
Because Michelle was all about, these healthy meals, and Republicans were showing up with plates of cookies to mock Michelle Obama and the food that she was changing inside the schools. Now, presidential fitness test, make America healthy again, make America fit again. Wasn't this what Michelle Obama was trying to do?
Yeah, and I want to say it was the Obama administration that stopped the presidential fitness test and changed it to something else at the time, too, because it would be a better representation of what the fitness would be. Yeah, this is a weird closed circle, and I think what this highlights a lot is that sometimes it's not necessarily the idea that is
messenger.
bad. Yeah, it's the messenger. It's who's proposing the idea that this seems like a bad plan. However, again, but we can take that, into a lot of different ideas because, the thing of if you had John Elway standing next to you saying, here, drink this glass of Kool-Aid, and on the other side of you, you've got Jim Jones standing next to you saying, here, drink this glass of Kool-Aid. Again, messenger seems very important at that point in time. So not necessarily all the time, but yeah, this is a weird with the MAHA movement and the fitness movement, how some of the things that Democrats were saying back in the early 2000s and mid-2000s are coming back, but now they're under a Republican banner. That we're going to have to do these things. Yeah, because now we're worried about what is the fitness and the health inside of our meals. And yeah, it is. That's a really neat
we were
insight.
mocking New York City for banning sugary sodas and all that
and
stuff.
Too big, that you couldn't have a drink that was too big and those type of things. Yeah.
It's fascinating. Now, Bill, you and I were talking about some of the workouts that we hated.
Yeah. Now, for me, going through being a soccer player, I hated the mile run. Was absolutely pointless. I hated it with a passion because, and I had a number of coaches that would come over like, hey, how come you're always finishing last and we know you're faster than this and how come you wouldn't? And I would turn to them and say, Coach, if you can point to a time inside of the game in which I am going to have to run a mile continuously, I will go all in on this. For me, it's sprint and recovery. That's where you can do the most for me and how I'm playing. Sprint, recovery, that's what this game is. I never run a mile in one fell swoop. So this doesn't help me. I don't see the reason why this is going to get me better. Yeah, I would slough it off in the mile all the time. I hated the mile run.
Which
Jeff,
is funny for me because I was a cross-country runner.
I know.
The mile was great. It was the short distance where you're going, I don't sprint this fast. Why am I running this fast? My body's not built this way. Text messages hot on this one. Breadman saying, Michelle Obama trying to poison the kids. The meals were filled with processed food and seed oils. Huh. Joan from Lakewood saying, who could promote all this? Pete Hegseth. That handsome man with his big muscles.
He does like to do push-ups in front of a camera a lot. There's something there. He does that a lot. It's because, again, very few people, go around doing the push-ups and stuff, but when you start doing it in front of the cameras, you're like, there's a reason here. There's something else going on.
I was always inspired by Teddy Roosevelt because he was a very active guy. I mean, the guy drank 5 gallons of coffee a day, I think, something like that. It was a ridiculous amount, so much energy. But, he was part of the Rough Riders, and he was this very active outdoorsman. He would do this thing called point-to-point hikes, which I loved, okay? And he did these, there's an island over off the Potomac where he would do these. He would get guys together and go, we're going to do a point-to-point hike, which means we're going straight that direction. And whatever we run into, we either swim across it or climb over it. Doesn't matter. We don't go around anything, which I always thought was super cool.
That's like that child's book, the going on a bear hunt. That's basically what it is.
Right.
He's going on a bear hunt, yeah.
I mean, and so you had, at one point, leaders like that were so active, but he was also, I think, quite obese. Teddy Roosevelt was.
He was. Yeah, he was very rotund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then William Taft had to have the special bathtub put in.
Yeah, which is just crazy. Now, here's the. Do you think now, Jeff? This is. I hate to do this right here at the end of this hour, but do you think there is a quote solution for childhood obesity? And I mean, we're not getting rid of the McDonald's, and we're probably not going to get them to a point where they're serving the health food. Do you think there's a solution?
Well, in my mind, yes, because it's what you consume and how active your body is that's the equation. And so my wife and I have been on a weight loss journey, and we've changed what we've eaten, and it's been successful, and we've been more active. So I think if we got serious as a country about this, yeah, we could address it. Your thoughts as we wrap?
Well, I'm on a weight loss journey, but the journey's to the candy aisle. I'm going the other way. That's the problem I got. I got a sweet tooth. It's killing me, man.
We got Bobby Daniel coming up next. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is 710 KNUS.